Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson, and I'm going to start it off with Proverbs 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And if you look around you, especially in the United States of America, you can't say that the average person is living a happy-go-lucky life or everything's working out for them. People are drowning in debt. You've got this cost of living crisis where people are working 2 to 3 jobs just to barely get by. Dire economic conditions, low morality, men and women distrust and don't like each other, and just the average person, distrusting their neighbor. Why is that? Because the wicked is bearing rule. The wicked according to the scriptures. The border of wickedness in Malachi 1 verse 4, and the wicked whom the earth has been given into the hands of in Job chapter 9 verse 24, being the biblical Edomite, or so-called white person. But as I said at the beginning, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the true righteous are back in authority, who are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true children of Israel, beginning with the elect, and then when the wicked of our people, who are just as bad as these Edomites and heathens out here, are deleted and come back through the loins of the elect, they're going to be righteous as well. The Israelites are going to govern this planet through the laws, statutes, and commandments in the scriptures, which is the only right way to do things. And then shall the people and the earth as a whole rejoice. But I opened up the video with this verse to preface 2 clips I came across, just showing that the average person out here is mourning. And this is out of the wicked's mouth themselves, Edomites. Though the guy in the second clip, he looks like a Edomite, but he could be a Jake. But regardless, the people are mourning due to the wicked bearing rule. And the first clip is from Large Man Abroad's YouTube channel, and it's titled, "I've Had Enough of People in America." And I'm going to play about 6 minutes or so of it. And this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
All right, Large Man Abroad, hey, let's have a talk. I am getting up on my soapbox today and being a crotchety old man because I've got to say, don't really like people that much. I don't know why that changed, because it didn't really seem to be a thing when I wasn't in the United States. But there's something about the quality of Americans that has really changed over the years, and by God, I just don't like it. But Large Man, that seems normal. Nobody likes anybody. Why would you want to talk to anyone? In general, I'm not talking about just anybody. I mean young people. Young people now just kind of suck. Not just kind of suck, they really suck. People are animals. People in America have lost all their morality, it seems. There's no sense of right or wrong or just being a decent person.
And America never had any morality. For Edomites, before their kingdom started going down, it was a good place to be. But for you Israelites, it's only been a place of horrors and bondage, servitude, and perpetual second class, if you could even call that, citizenship. But America is known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures, and Babal in the Hebrew means and Babylon in the Hebrew is Babal, and it means confusion. And this is a place full of confusion. Look at the alphabet group with 3,200 genders, feminism, putting women in positions of power where they don't need to be, above men, men being weak and docile, just complete madness. But leave it to the media or social media, or to the average brain dead person out here, they'll say that this is a utopia. This is how society is supposed to be. Go to Job chapter 10. I'll read verses 20 to 22. Before I go, whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death, the valley of the shadow of death, that low place, which is speaking of the United States of America, a land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death without any order, babal, confusion, and where the light is as darkness. So darkness is professed as the light here. Again, feminism, democracy, capitalism, having that selfish, get it how you live, fuck over everybody else spirit. What else? Narcissistic mindset, all these things that aren't conducive to a functioning society. Hey, they're pushed here as, the means of a functioning society. So you shouldn't be surprised by, the behavior these people are in out here, because the system was designed to get people that way, because the wicked are bearing rule. And Esau Edom does everything completely contrary to the scriptures and righteousness.
Era of decency, if it ever existed, seems to have ended. And you mix that with the high rates of low intelligence people in our country, just makes it kind of a nightmare for normal people. Just had a little trip to Target. Had to go get a Mother's Day gift for the mother-in-law. And while we're there, all the disabled carts are just being used up by 14 and 15-year-olds, just kind of cruising around with absolutely nothing to do. Well, a little bit of misbehavior and being an ass is completely normal when you're a kid. In fact, the guy who was checking us out, who had to use 2 canes because he was seriously disabled, when he actually yelled out to them, "Hey, do you really need that? Because some of us actually need it." 2 of them had the nerve to just look over and be like, "Oh, my leg's kind of sore because I walked fast to get here." And while the thing is, and I understand a lot of people out there, but hey, don't get hung up on that, right? Kids are going to be kids. These are probably just a couple bad apples. No, in my area, this is a common thing. No matter where I go, the disabled carts, there's always going to be some 14 or 15-year-olds or idiots who are even in their 20s who are using these things. Like I said, it's something about...
And Gen Z is through. Hey, they're named after the last letter of the alphabet for a reason. But this is Proverbs chapter 30. I'm going to read verses 11 to 14. There's a generation that curseth their father and doth not bless their mother. And, that's even if the father is in the house, because you got a lot of single parent households out here. And then even then, due to the mom manipulating the child's mind against the father, they literally curse their father, look at him as a piece of shit and worthless when they don't have both sides of the story, and doth not bless their mother, giving holy hell to, their mother, they got both parents, just this social media selfish generation that has all the answers. Verse 12, there is a generation that is pure in their own eyes and yet is not washed from their filthiness. Again, especially with Gen Z, millennials are through as well. They think that all these causes that they push for and believe in is what justifies everything they do. And what they're willing to destroy their families and their relationships over their political ideals when they're living as degenerates themselves in openly and happily committing adultery out here. And you got this new thing with open relationships, ethical non-monogamy, being in that alphabet lifestyle, being simps, cucks, whores, feminists, all that out here. And we aren't even getting into these YNs out here that just go around like it's the OK Corral doing whatever they want. Verse 13, there is a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up. There is a generation whose teeth are as swords, and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men. Again, all the rhetoric they spew is just complete madness, and it's got what? Sarcasm and arrogancy to it. But hey, they learned it from their daddy, the devil, Esau Edom, who is a selfish, arrogant, proud demon out here. Hence, why the people are the way that they are. But they love to have it so because, they call light darkness, scriptures in the Bible. That's just a fairy tale book that's full of oppression and hate, but darkness, light. All these social ideas out here that just ruin society. And what he just said about how he was at Target and the man working the cash register needed 2 canes, to walk around, and told those, teenagers, look, there are actually people that need those carts. And what they tell him, oh, I hurt my feet walking too fast here. That's an example of what? Them devouring the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men. Again, people just being selfish and only caring about themselves to the detriment of their fellow person.
About a kind of a common moral decency that doesn't really seem to exist within a lot of people in America now. Just kind of doing the right thing. Open the door for old people, saying sir, things like that. Is it a failure of parenting? Yes. Is it a failure of education? Yes. Not teaching kids accountability or any kind of moral code has gotten our country to the place that it is right now, where the people are just jackals. That's all they are. Taking pride in the fact that it's dog eat dog, you don't look out for each other, you don't have community, you don't do anything for anybody but yourself because yourself is the only person that matters, and you got to come up. But it doesn't.
Psalms chapter 12, verse 8. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. And Esau Edom and his Western way of life is highly exalted. So what? All Esau's attributes, which are, shown through how he runs his society, are exalted. So what? People are walking after Esau, walking after the wicked, and walking on every side. Again, what that guy just said, you just got a society of jackals out here. Dog eat dog, get one up over on people and only being concerned about numero uno. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 10. I'm going to read verses 1 to about verse 5. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. And truly, an unwise king, a servant who was never meant to rule, is in rulership. So you've got a bunch of jackals and hyenas roaming around. This is Ecclesiastes in the Bible, chapter 10. I'm going to read verses 6 to 7 and then jump down. Folly, or foolishness, vanity is set in great dignity. Hey, just look at these people chasing after this social media lifestyle out here. And the rich sit in low place. The Israelites, the righteous, who are at the bottom of society. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. And, horses are representative of a power and rulership. And what? You do have servants upon horses. Esau Edom, the basest of men in rulership, while the true princes who should be on the horses are walking as servants, serving under Esau and these other heathens. And a perfect visualization of this was that statue they had up at that museum in New York of Theodore Roosevelt, a Edomite upon a horse. And what did he have on his right and his left side? He had a Judite, or a so-called Negro, and a Gadite, or a so-called Native American. But now I'm going to jump down to verse 16. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. And Esau Edom truly is a child. Dennis the menace. Hence, why society is the way it is. A bunch of grown children, selfish, with no impulse control, running around. We're talking about a man who gave up his birthright for what? Some food. Verse 17, blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness. A wise king and a prudent man, has his society well ordered, and, everything is functioning correctly. But with the way you see things around here, that shows you that the righteous truly aren't in authority.
Just end there. It's not just kids that are in the Target that are annoying me that day. It's everywhere. It's everywhere you go. Let's just talk about the service industry for a second. There's a reason why I hate fast food more than just the fact that it's trying to kill me and give me gout. And I do honestly believe that this is one of the reasons why Chick-fil-A in America is as popular as it is, because at least it's fast, quick service, and for the most part, 98% of the time, you're going to get a smile there. If I go to the local McDonald's, if I go to the local Taco Bell, I swear to God, the kind of entitlement and attitude that I will get from people behind the register is absolutely insane and makes me want to burn it down. On this channel, we talk about people keeping their jobs, but I swear to God, just sometimes, because of the attitude of people in this country, it just makes me want AI to come. Make it so I actually don't have to talk to anybody. Just keep a cook back there, keep the fries coming, we're good, I can move on out, because that's what fast food is supposed to be. But it's everything. And is it because of social media? Is it because of phones? Absolutely. Of course it is. That is a big part of it, and I don't think any...
It's ultimately because the wicked beareth rule. Woe to thee when thy king is a child, as well as a servant.
Nobody would deny that at this point. But the fact is, there is just an absolute loss of character in this country, where especially when we're looking at young people, they just don't know anything or don't believe in anything. And yeah, maybe life was better back when there were nuns smacking kids on the knuckles with rulers. Maybe we need to bring back paddles. Maybe some corporal punishment in the schools isn't exactly a bad idea, because from what I hear, teachers aren't even allowed to tell kids no these days. I haven't seen this kind of stupid attitude and ignorance from kids anywhere else on the planet. Even in the UK, which is an absolute shit show of a country right now, you don't even get that kind of attitude from kids, not to the same degree that we do in America. And I use the term kids broadly because I'm an old man at this point. So if you're under the age of like 23, 24, to me, you're a kid. Unless you're in the military, then you're just a dangerous kid. But still,
if you feel like your brain craves pleasure from lust just as much as it craves being a man of integrity, it's probably...
You interact with some of these kids and you're like, I want to get to know their parents. I want to get to know their parents just so I can yell at them. And like I said, maybe it's just because I'm getting older and I want to rage out against the youth in America. While at the same time, my generation absolutely sucks too. My generation is nothing but adult children for the most part, who have no sense of responsibility. None of them have kids. All they have is dogs or cats, which makes complete sense because number one, nobody's in a relationship anymore because it's too expensive to date people in America. And again, the quality of other people in America is such trash that trying to find a good, decent partner is essentially like trying to win the lottery for a lot of people. So many people are just in relationships with people that they absolutely hate. It's just, why would you want to put yourself through that? So I completely understand. But the other side of that means that we have a tremendous amount of single parents out there. And because of our work culture and the cost of living, everyone's working all the time, which means there's no one to raise the kids except teachers who aren't allowed to tell kids no, and a nanny that is social media that shows them nothing but a constant stream of immorality and shit behavior that preaches the importance of the self. Our culture is lost. This country is done. There's really nothing to save, at least not the generations that exist right now. And the old people, they're not safe either because they're absolutely detached from everything that's going on, saying that, hey, everything's good, everything's great, this is an amazing country, look at the things I got. While at the same time, nobody in this country can afford to have anything. So yeah, we're glad that you made it, We're glad that you're 60 or 70 years old and you built a company and you're able to sell it and you have 3 homes. But guess what? Nobody in the country can do that now except a sliver of the population. And for you to say, go ahead, just pull yourself up by the bootstraps is infuriating and collectively makes us want to push you in front of a bus. These are the moments I say, yeah, we need a recession. We need some kind of deep economic plunge to really shake the population and have them understand just how full of shit they've become. Because this country's dog shit. The people have turned to dog shit. The money isn't worth the paper that it's fucking printed on, and people just want to get out of this shit show. So yeah.
Hey, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people, including the wicked themselves, mourn. That's it for that first video. I'm gonna get 2 Timothy chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 1. This know also, that in the last days, which we're currently living in, hell, the last seconds, microseconds of the last days, perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. This narcissistic dog-eat-dog society out here. Hey, this social media society where it's all about clout chasing. Covetous. Everybody trying to get the bag. And, it's crazy. Really, dealing with these women out here now, they just treat men like a credit card. They're literal prostitutes. You got to have a certain, income. You got to be in a certain income bracket just to, deal with it. And it's not even good looking women. It's women's that are literal 3s and 4s. Covetous, boasters, proud. Everybody saying what I got. Look at me, trying to stunt on the next man. Blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection. Truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, being pretty much lascivious, given over to, extreme sexual desires. Fierce, despisers of those that are good. Anybody trying to preach any kind of morality is looked at as you're prejudiced, you're hateful, bigot, all that stuff. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. And all of these attributes fit, your average American to the T. But now I'm going to go to my second clip on Dev Campbell's YouTube channel titled, I just found out my old friend Calvin is another lost soul on the streets of Seattle. And, he looks like an Edomite, but, he could very well be a Jake. But regardless, this is another example of the people mourning due to what? The wicked bearing rule. And I'm going to start it at the 3-minute and 2-second mark. And again, fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes. And, he goes into meeting a old, I think, elementary school friend who last he saw him, he had a good paying job and a woman he really cared about. But then he saw him recently, a homeless, just bugged out person on the streets.
Seattle, man. For the most part, I love Seattle, even though I don't politically align with this place. But I have watched so many people that I know personally and people that I've met. I've watched so many people disintegrate here that I've almost started believing that this shit is normal, man. You see so many people out here, dude, every single day. New faces every single day of people that are just in outer space, man. They're just in tears, screaming with mental health and or drug issues. They don't even know what's going on around them. Out of it on the street. This place is one of these places where you pass by bodies on the ground all over, and you don't even think twice about.
Hey, that's like New Orleans down here. A complete and total shithole with dope fiends roaming around, laying on the streets, transformers everywhere, whorish women, scumbag men. And what is this society? And New Orleans' nickname is the Big Easy. People come here to, fuck off, drink, do drugs, wild out. So what do you think people that actually live here that go through that, lifestyle 7 days a week are going to be like? Jackals, hyenas out here. The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. And this society, like I've been saying throughout the video, is set up by design to please the flesh, to what? And allow people to indulge in their vices, their addictions, so they completely destroy themselves. And then on top of that, all life is in this society is work. You, instead of working to live, you live to work. So people don't even have time to really think about the terrible situation that they're in. Though, you've got people that are starting to wake up now to it. And what's been the catalyst of that? The spirit of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai through his prophets, chiefly of GMS or Great Millstone, as well as the brothers coming in the spirit of GMS, go down onto the highways and byways preaching this word, and going into the gates of the nobles, as it says in Isaiah chapter 13, as well as putting video epistles like this online, exposing this society through the scriptures and preaching its downfall, which is the reason we are at, the precipice of Esau being taken out of power. Matthew 24, verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, which it has been through the unicorn or the internet, and then shall the end come.
It's normal here. You look at these people and you go, this was somebody's baby, dude. This was somebody's little baby that meant the world to them. This was an innocent, sweet baby. How the fuck did they end up like this? And how the fuck do so many of them end up like this?
This is Isaiah 24. I'm going to jump to read verse 4 to verse 5. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people or the proud people of the earth do languish. And these proud people, especially in the West, are languishing out here. Why? The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. And the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked right now, Esau, Edom, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. Esau, Edom's society is run completely contrary to the laws, statutes, and commandments. Hence, why society, from the people to the environment, are languishing as we speak. Let's get that word languish real quick. Amal, Strong's H535. To be weak, to droop, to languish, to be weak, to be or grow feeble.
Every one of these people that you see out here, like my friend Calvin or my friend Marcus, every one of them was a little innocent baby. Every one of them was a child that just had dreams and aspirations so big that they had no idea that it could be out of reach, man. Every one of these people. And so many of these cities, man, you get so numb that you don't even think of them as human anymore sometimes. You just start thinking, there's nothing you can do. There is no help in these people. And maybe that's true.
It's true while the wicked beareth rule, but when the righteous are in authority, the people are going to rejoice.
I'm just tired of seeing this, man. I'm so sick and tired of seeing people that are so broken And this goes back to like this channel in itself. Not even just people that are at the lowest of lows, strung out on drugs on the street. I mean, guys that I know in my personal life, just from like dating and financial problems, like they're so broken. Man. But Seattle, bro. This place, man, and growing up here, this has always been like a left-leaning place, right? But even if it could be run by like sane center-left people, it would be great. Washington State is...
And you know, the right ain't much better. You know, Louisiana is a red state, and it's a shithole. Louisiana, I believe Mississippi's a red state too. And, you know, they're neck and neck for being the worst states in the country. You know, highest STD rates, lowest, you know, standard of living, you know, highest in, you know, drug and alcohol use. It doesn't matter. The whole system has to go. And that's just the beginning, the middle, and the end of it.
Great, bro. You have everything here. You have beaches, you have the forest, you have like desert type land, you have farm.
But I will say this, liberals do know how to fuck some shit up.
Land, you have big cities, you got suburbs, you got all of it, bro. You have all of that here. Growing up, when it was run by like center left people, it was always a little wacky, but there was still common sense. There is no common sense here anymore. People that I talk to that don't live in Washington, they think Seattle's like some utopia. Like they think Seattle is a utopia. This place is a dump. This Western Washington in general is like a laughably overpriced dump with insanely high property crime. And when you talk to people about this, the people that live here that love this place and try to stick up for it, and I love it too, but the people that I meet that are on the left and they try to stick up for this place and gaslight when you talk about the crime and the violence and everything that's just growing rampantly.
That sounds like he's talking about New Orleans. But hey, this is just endemic of the United States of America as a whole.
All they say is it's not that bad, it's not Detroit. Oh, it's not that bad, it's not Compton. Oh, it could be worse. Try living in this place. Try living in that place. That's your justification because it's not the worst of the worst. You try to act it's not that bad. Seattle has gotten so bad in my lifetime. Most people, in fact, let me say this. Every single person that I've ever met that's come here, like traveling here, they say maybe not word for word, but paraphrasing, holy shit, this is nothing like I expected. The city of Seattle, downtown Seattle, is a boarded up ghost town with feces everywhere, lunatics running around, pulling their hair out, attacking cars, stealing from stores. Like, this is a boarded up dump. Now, there's still pockets of the city that are trying to survive, but they turn a blind eye to this stuff. It's nothing like it was when I was a kid.
I say with that clip, but hey, again, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And hey, call halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the wicked is just about at the end of his rulership. So I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified by this video. And again, as always, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim and Akwath out there. Shalom.